Today we brought a crew out in order to share with you the importance of understanding the difference between having an old home that's being renovated, where we have to break out lots of plaster before we could get it lathed up and prepped, compared to a new home that's being built on the spot with brand new studs, brand new framing, where we could attach to that and we could get literally hundreds of yards. We throw the black paper up there, put the wire up, get it all waterproof, and then we could get inspection on this. It's routine. There's a lot to be accomplished in a situation like this. But when it comes to renovations, we're going to share with you why it becomes very challenging. What we have over here is an example of a project that was already broken out when we got here. All the areas were all broken and ready for us to go as it appeared. But when we get here, what we realize is that the plaster needs to be broken from when it was originally here, and looks perfectly fine. All the wire was broken out, looked great, but we had to take the time and the manpower to break it all the way back until we could reach a stud. The stud needs to be reached in order for us to be able to staple to. If we could come over this way, we would recognize that where plaster was existing when we originally had focused on getting this project together, now there is zero plaster there and it's all been broken out. Sometimes it's just better to go to the extreme and just break everything out in order to get the flow in the project, but at the same time too, we do this in order to prevent cracks in the future. Here we can see that as we're trying to preserve the project and it's growing, we end up with areas like this that are what, 16 to 20 inches. And sometimes it appears as if it probably shouldn't have been done that way, but it's just the way that the circumstances work out. When this project is finished, after we get it all scratched and browned, we'll probably end up skimming the whole thing again with the polymer plaster, impregnating the whole thing with the fiberglass mesh in order to prevent cracking. This whole house right here will be polymer coated and prepped to perfection before we put a 20/30 finish on it. This house will be ready for a perfectly glass smooth finish. We will get excellence on this, no two ways about it. So here's a perfect example of what I was referring to, where on the outside it looks perfect. It looks ready for the lathing to be put on. Normally you would think that we'd just cut back, raise up the wire, rip out the loose paper, tuck it underneath, and then staple the black paper and put the new wire on top of it. That's great. However, in reality, we need to break this all the way back here, take it all the way up and square, because you can see that we have so many things to work around. So we might as well just break it all the way up and around and get under all of these pipes. This way we could run a tape or something that if necessary. So what we have now is another 30 minutes that'll be spent just in breaking the plaster alone, and then clean up and a whole bunch of other stuff that come around it. These are often situations that are unforeseen, things that we don't account for. A lot of times people get several bids, and the people that are giving the bids, they'll give a flat rate on per patch. But the situation unforeseen will turn around and it'll get you. You have disposal fees, you have situations where you don't want a super highly skilled, expensive employee that does lathing or smooth finishes to be off of that project and over here doing breakouts and stuff like that. So often we would like to account for that up in the beginning and get somebody that can come and do the demo, prepare everything so that then we can have the lathers come in and just knock it out. Otherwise, we could run a project very lean financially, and nobody ever wants to do that because a hot project creates a lot of hypertension and resistance, and we always want things to flow financially very well. A meeting of the minds between us and our clients is extremely important, which is the primary purpose of these videos, because while we're doing bids and we're making good things happen, we're all human, and we sometimes will forget about some of the minor things, and they're super important regardless of how enthusiastic we are with these projects. So I hope this is a helpful video. Check us out in the future. We're going to make more good things happen.